Exodus 13. God has now murdered all the firstborn sons in Egypt and given the Israelites a lot of rules about how they're supposed to eat bread. So maybe now Moses will start exodusing? Maybe? The Lord said to Moses, "Consecrate to me every firstborn male. The first offspring of every womb among the Israelites belongs to me, whether human or animal." What is God gonna do with all those male babies? And sheep. In the last chapter, we know exactly what he did. He murdered them. But those babies were Egyptian, so I guess that means they deserved it. But the wording here seems ambiguous. He obviously likes the Israelites, so he's not itching to kill their babies. But becoming an adoptive single dad to a whole bunch of kids also seems like a lot to handle. So it's not exactly that either. Basically, he just wants dibs on them. He wants to make sure those firstborn babies spend their lives worshiping him. Like they have to become priests. But animals can't become priests. So I guess those firstborns will still be murdered. I suppose we should be thrilled that God has no use for dead female babies? Thanks? Just to be blunt about this, the reason we're talking about this consecration at all is to commemorate the anniversary of God's most recent genocide. Weird way to celebrate, but maybe that's just me. Now, it's Moses' job to relay everything God has told him about the firstborns and how to cook bread to the Israelites. Then Moses said to the people, "Commemorate this day, the day you came out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery, because the Lord brought you out of it with a mighty hand. Eat nothing containing yeast. Today, in the month of Aviv, you are leaving. When the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites, Hittites, Amorites, Hivites, and Jebusites, the land he swore to your ancestors to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, you are to observe this ceremony in this month. For 7 days, eat bread made without yeast, and on the 7th day, hold a festival to the Lord." My God, these people and their yeast. God is still okay with slavery, given everything the Israelites just went through for the past 400 years, but cook bread the wrong way and you are so screwed. Anyway, keep talking, Moses. Talk about how God is putting up a border wall to keep yeast out. Eat unleavened bread during those 7 days. Nothing with yeast in it is to be seen among you, nor shall any yeast be seen anywhere within your borders. On that day, tell your son, "I do this because of what the Lord did for me when I came out of Egypt." This observance will be for you like a sign on your hand and a reminder on your forehead that this law of the Lord is to be on your lips. For the Lord brought you out of Egypt with his mighty hand. You must keep this ordinance at the appointed time, year after year. God just set them free from Egypt after a giant murder spree, and he wants credit and a party. And he's already decided the menu. Forever. Not sociopathic at all. After the Lord brings you into the land of the Canaanites and gives it to you, as he promised on oath to you and your ancestors, you are to give over to the Lord the first offspring of every womb. All the firstborn males of your livestock belong to the Lord. Redeem with a lamb every firstborn donkey, but if you do not redeem it, break its neck. Redeem every firstborn among your sons. Wait. What? In the middle of those instructions, we just got a message to violently kill baby donkeys. Just to explain this, if these Israelites had a baby donkey, they may not want to kill it because they need it for work. God's saying, fine, don't give me the donkey, give me a lamb instead. I just need animal flesh because I love you and I hate vegetarians. I don't care what form it comes in. However, if you decide you don't want to give me a substitute lamb, then the donkey must die. And that is why Christians consider themselves pro-life. Actually, the Israelites can't sacrifice a donkey to God because donkeys are considered unclean. And God hates things that are unclean. That's why in the last chapter, he gave us bloody water and dead frogs and gnats. In days to come, when your son asks you, "What does this mean?" say to him, "With a mighty hand the Lord brought us out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. When Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, the Lord killed the firstborn of both people and animals in Egypt. This is why I sacrifice to the Lord the first male offspring of every womb and redeem each of my firstborn sons. And it will be like a sign on your hand and a symbol on your forehead that the Lord brought us out of Egypt with his mighty hand." And then your son will say, "Dad, I was talking about my math homework. I've never seen this symbol before. What does this mean? Also, what are you talking about?" When Pharaoh let the people go, God did not lead them on the road through the Philistine country, though that was shorter. For God said, if they face war, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. So God led the people around by the desert road toward the Red Sea. The Israelites went up out of Egypt ready for battle. Whoa, there was a shortcut to the promised land, but God didn't think they could fight and thought they might want to return to slavery rather than going to war, so he's gonna give them a map through the desert. Like they haven't suffered enough. Also, some translations say they're heading toward the Sea of Reeds with 2 E's, not the Red Sea. But you know, it's not like anyone takes this book literally. By the way, I know I've said this before, but it's still weird that the Bible says they're not going through Philistine country since Philistines haven't arrived there yet. It's like telling people a century ago they're fighting in World War I. Like, why'd you number it like that? Then again, we're reading the Old Testament, which doesn't make sense since there's no new one yet. I mean, for now, it's just the Testament. Moses took the bones of Joseph with him because Joseph had made the Israelites swear an oath. He had said, "God will surely come to your aid, and then you must carry my bones up with you from this place." Look at that! A callback to Genesis 50. Worst MacGuffin ever. Moses is about to travel through the desert with a bag of bones. That's adding insult to injury. After leaving Succoth, they camped at Etham on the edge of the desert. By day, the Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud to guide them on their way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could travel by day or night. Neither the pillar of cloud by day nor the pillar of fire by night left its place in front of the people. If God is able to become a cloud or a pillar of fire, why can't he just help them get through the desert? Do some time travel. Carry them on a cloud. Give them a magic carpet. Leave it to God to be omnipotent and impotent at the same time. It looks like the Israelites are finally walking somewhere. It only took 13 chapters, and more dead animals, and more rules about yeast. But when the Bible is as long as it is, you gotta have a lot of filler.